league season unbeaten in 118 years. They beat Hearts 2-0. That's the latest. I'm Tanya Snug.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. It's 2 minutes past 5 here in the afternoon on the 21st of May 2017. You're listening live to Iman FM on 103.1 FM in Sheffield and in South Yorkshire, imanfm.com, and very, very shortly on Facebook at Iman TV Online, and also on YouTube. If you type in Iman TV Online, 3 separate words, you can listen to the program. Actually, we're on air now, and you're listening to Zaheer Haque. So assalamu alaikum to all of you, and you're listening to a very special edition of Sports Week, which is today, special occasion, and it's from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. and I can hear myself on Facebook and YouTube. So welcome along to the show. So today we've got a very, very special Sports Week show, and it's live. So between now and 5:26, we'll be looking at Pakistan's historic win in the West Indies and talking about the Champions Trophy. And then after 5:30, I'll be wrapping up 2 weeks worth of Premier League football results for you. And then inshallah that will take us to the close of the show at 5:56. And just to remind you, we are live on Facebook right now. So if you head over to our Facebook page at Iman TV Online, that's all one word, and you can watch the show live. And you can also invite your friends like I'm doing right now while I'm speaking to you. So welcome along to the show, and I hope you can stay with me until 6 o'clock. And this will be the final Sports Week show until the first Saturday in July. And I hope you can stay with me for the rest of the show. And inshallah ta'ala, should be having a live guest on the show. And inshallah, he should be calling in the next minute or so. And then we will talk in depth about Pakistan's historic win in the West Indies, the Test series, and also look ahead to the Champions Trophy. And then we'll talk about cricket in general as well. So, like I said, my guest should be online in the next minute or two. And if you do want to interact with the show, you can do it on Facebook Live, or you can do it on YouTube as well. So if you go to YouTube, type in Iman TV Online, 3 separate words, and then you can watch us that way as well. And if you want to interact with the show, you can do so via WhatsApp as well on 07885599786. That's 07885599786. So welcome along to the show, and make sure you're tuned in till 6 o'clock. And like I said, I've got loads of sports to cover, and it's been a very, very interesting day in the Premier League as well. So hope you can stay with me. And like I said, those are the ways you can watch us on Facebook, watch us on YouTube, and obviously you can listen to us on imanfm.com and also the TuneIn radio app. And it's a bit weird to be at this time in the afternoon, but the reason why I did the show today is the last of the Premier League actions finished in the last few minutes, so hence why I decided to do show today rather than my normal Saturday morning shows, which is 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. So what I'll do once I get a confirmation from the studio that my guest is online, I'll go through the scorecard of what happened in the match between West Indies and Pakistan. And as soon as my guest does come on air, then we'll be put through, and I'll get confirmation from the studio once my guest is ready. So, but just waiting for my guest to call in, and inshallah ta'ala, then we'll put them live on air once my guest calls in. So while then, I'll just give you the results of what happened in that match between Pakistan and West Indies in the 3rd Test match. And as soon as my guest comes on, then we'll put him live on air. So let me just give you the results there. So the match finished last Sunday, the 14th of May, and it was quite an interesting match. It went to the second last over of the match, and Pakistan somehow won that match, and richly so, and it was a very, very exciting end to the match as well. And I was, very, very excited and very, very vocal when the last wicket was taken. And let me just give you the scorecard. First of all, West Indies won the toss and asked Pakistan to bat first, and Pakistan made 376 all out, and Azhar Ali top scored with a magnificent 127. Yes, it was very slow, but at least he made 100. And the pick of the bowlers for West Indies was Roston Chase, 32 overs, 5 maidens, 4 for 103. And West Indies in reply were 247 all out, with Roston Chase making 69 in the first innings. And the pick of the bowlers was Mohammad Abbas with his maiden 5 wickets, 5 for 46. And in the second innings, West Indies were 174 for 8 in the second innings there. And like I said, as soon as my guest calls in, then inshallah we'll put them on air. There's probably a few technical difficulties from my guest end. And like I said, in this second innings, Pakistan were all out for. Pakistan made 174 for 8 declared. Top scorer was Yasir Shah, making 38, and Quickfire 38.55. And the pick of the bowlers for West Indies in the second innings was Joseph 3 for 53. And in reply, West Indies were all out for 202, and Pakistan won that match with, like I said, an over to spare, and Yasir Shah, brilliant bowling again by him in this series, and he was man of the series as well. And let's see what happens going forward in the series, and let's see. Like I said, once my guest just called in. So, like I said, Yasir Shah, pick of the bowlers in the second innings, 5 for 92. So another 5 for Pakistan. And the player of the match was Roston Chase, because in the second innings, he scored a magnificent 101 not out, and he led the tail well for West Indies. And like I said, they were only 6 balls away from making a draw, and the series would have been drawn. So what that meant, it was the first time that Pakistan won the series to a series in the Caribbean. So mashallah, well done to the team. And I have got my guest on the line. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, Zaheer bhai, how are you?
Alhamdulillah. That should be Tamur Iqbal sab. How are you?
Yeah, this is Tamur Iqbal. I'm fine.
Alhamdulillah. Can you hear me all okay?
I can hear you properly, yes. Can you hear me?
Alhamdulillah. Tamur, I was just going through the scorecard, and I was just the last point I finished on was it was the first time that Pakistan have obviously won in the Caribbean. So I will talk to you about that in a moment. Before I do that, can you just let us know, for the benefit of our listeners who may not know who Tamur is, what you normally do in terms of TV wise, and then your passion for cricket after that, if you don't mind.
I'm just one of those very regular, non-intelligent journalists who pretend to be journalists but not a real journalist. And okay, on a serious note, my name is Tamur Iqbal. I am a working journalist. I had been working with this TV channel called Prime TV Sky 792, and I hosted a talk show called Insight with Prime by Tamur Iqbal for 2 years. As any Pakistani, just like any Pakistani, I'm a mad cricket fan. Very passionate about the game, very passionate about the history of the game, and my love for the game is not just confined to Pakistanis. As a cricketer lover like you and me, we people believe in the beauty of the game. We will believe in the magnificence of the game, and it does not have to be a Pakistani perspective for us. So, for me, cricket is just the most incredible game that mankind has ever invented. I'm extremely passionate about the game, and I follow it religiously.
Alhamdulillah. So you're mad passionate person in cricket like myself as well. So that's good to hear. And it's good to know that I'm speaking to a renowned journalist, and you're very modest in what you said about yourself. So how did your passion for cricket come along? Was it from here or from Pakistan?
Absolutely, right from the early days. Pakistan, if I recall, my first instance or my first vivid, clear cricket memory was of 1986 when Pakistan went to India. And if you remember back then in 80s and 90s, most of the tests, they used to be draws. The game was very lethargic, game was generally very boring, and the batsmen used to score a lot of runs. And India and Pakistan, if you remember, always had those very slow, flat pitches where fast bowlers would not get any help. So it was the 1986 Pakistan tour of India, and first 4 test matches were draw. It was the last test match at Bangalore, where it was a very low-scoring affair, very difficult, very tricky, viciously turning pitch on which that match was played. And again, a very low-scoring affair. India then came to bat in the second innings. India needed something like 216 runs to chase. and Indian umpires back then, since there were no neutral umpires, so they refused to give Sunil Gavaskar and some other Indian players out. Pakistanis kept appealing. There were some genuine nicks. There were some genuine LBWs. And I was barely a kid. That was in '86, and I remember my family was there, and they were all screaming and shouting, and especially my uncles. They were going mad with anger every time the umpire would turn down a very genuine, relevant appeal. So that was my first memory, and eventually Pakistan somehow, by the grace of God, won that test. History was made because Pakistan won the first ever test cricket series in India. So that is my first proper memory of cricket, the first time I remember when I was 7 or 8. And the passion, the madness, the interest that I saw in the family. And I did not really follow the game properly, but I knew that it was cricket, and I knew that India was doing something terrible with Pakistan, and I was getting very angry as well that what the hell was happening. But eventually, alhamdulillah, by the grace of God, we won that test match, and we won that great historic series. And I think my love for the game, that was perhaps the starting point. It was the beginning of
Mashallah,
my love.
mashallah, you got good memory in '86. Because if when people ask me, my earliest memory of watching cricket was in '84, when obviously that time there was very very few matches on UK TV, because obviously cricket became more mainstream when satellite TV came along. But at that time you used to have obviously
Are you
BBC at the
telling
time
me?
used to show cricket. So my earliest memory was the '84 series when the West Indies beat England 5-0. So that was my first experience. I was only 5 years old at the time, and that was my first experience. And like yourself, since when you watch those experiences from them, they live in your heart and they live in your mind, and it gives you a passion. And then obviously after that, when first time I can remember watching Pakistan was obviously the '87 World Cup, and before that when they came to the
And what a
UK, that
heartbreak
was a
it was.
brilliant series. Then let's fast forward to what happened on Sunday, and your thoughts on Pakistan's historic win in the Caribbean.
See, it's definitely a historic series. There's no, two questions about it. There are no two opinions on that. And without taking any credit away from Misbah and his men, there's no doubt about it. But as I said, being a test lover, because I've never been a key follower of T20, and one day I like them and I follow them, but people like you and me who are passionate about the game, we follow the test format, and we believe that test format is the best test format, is the best format of the game. Most entertaining form of the game, because 5-day game is a battle. It's not just a game, it's a battle of strategy, tactics, nerves, patience, tolerance, aggression, defense. Everything comes into equation. Historic win, but coming against a weak West Indians team. Pakistan, for me, possibly had the greatest chance that Pakistan had was in 1988 when Imran Khan took that team, and back in that time, West Indian team would thrash any other team on this planet, and they would just...
Because they had the likes of Malcolm Marshall in the team, and
Malcolm
I
Marshall,
remember
they
him
had Gordon
playing here in the
Gray, they
UK,
had
and a
Carl Hooper, they
phenomenal
had
team
Ambrose,
batting wise as well.
crazy, mad players and Patrick Patterson was a very fearsome bowler back then, and Curtly Ambrose had just started his career. Pakistan.
And was he? I think Ian Bishop was playing just started roughly at that time, did he, or was it just after that series?
Who?
Ian Bishop.
No. Ian Bishop had made his debut. No. I'm sorry. No.
Yeah, I didn't know. I think it was just after, wasn't it? Because I know he was. But yeah, it was a brilliant series, and like I said, Pakistan should have won that one.
So it was a brilliant series. Pakistan should have, again, because of the bad umpiring, and again there was no concept of neutral umpires back then. But the closest that Pakistan actually came was in Antigua in 2001. And again, that was the match that Jimmy Anderson, no, not Jimmy Anderson, I forgot the name.
Jimmy Adams.
Jimmy Adams. He was captaining
Yes.
the West Indian team, and Wasim Akram was captaining the Pakistani team. And again, a brilliant Pakistani team. Antigua, again, it's one of the greatest heartbreaks of my life. They needed about 25-30 runs in the last wicket. West Indians, they were chasing a target. Umpires not only turned out some very genuine LBW appeals, but some very clear deflected nicks that you and me, or if there was an alien, he too would have heard that nick sitting on some other.
I remember that series. Yes,
But
I remember watching it. Yeah, I agree with you.
Easy runouts, very easy runouts, and somehow it was one of the great heartbreaks. Pakistan lost that Test series, and again it was a very good West Indian side. So deep down, my desire was always to win a Test series in West Indies against a solid quality West Indian team. this is a relatively weak West Indian unit, and we've obviously seen the greatest cricket team. It's been suffering a decline for the last 20 years now.
It's a great shame because they've declined, Tamur, because if you listen to my program every week, and you know how critical I am about Pakistan team, and because me and you, we've grown up watching the teams from the mid '80s onwards, so we've got an expectation where a lot of the youngsters who listen to the program, they haven't seen the likes of what we grew up with: Zaheer Abbas, Imran Khan, Javed Mian, and then Inzamam, and then Wasim Akram and Waqar Yunus and the like. So we've been spoiled, but the new generation haven't followed that. So they what they see now, they think that's what Pakistan cricket is. But we've got a rich history if you go all the way back from when Pakistan started. What's your view on that?
Well, you just said that you followed Zaheer Abbas. I promise you, I'm not that old, but I'm sure you're that old. So what can I say?
No, but I mean, because obviously you've seen footage of Zaheer Abbas in his prime, and then obviously you've heard stories about when Pakistan back in 1958 won that historic match in England and onwards. So you follow the stats and stuff. But how do you rate this win? Because the feeling I was really annoyed, and obviously I couldn't express those words on air. But obviously with the way we played in the second Test match, getting bowled out for 81 when we should have actually steamrolled West Indies 3-0 easily in that series. How was your thoughts? Do you think Pakistan would do enough to win the third Test match after the second Test match performance?
It's one of those historic collapses that Pakistan has given us over the course of many decades. There was one major collapse in '97 when Pakistani batting collapsed while chasing a meager 145 runs against South Africa, and giving South Africa the first Test series in Pakistan, the targets that should have been chased. Then in Sydney, the famous collapse again, where we were chasing something like 155 or 60 runs. We collapsed and we lost that match by 25, 30 odd runs. Then in Kandy, again, same thing happened, and I believe Pakistan was chasing 173 runs, and there was this massive collapse. So this is the history of Pakistani cricket, and the reason why they have been called the Mavericks of the cricket, or the most unpredictable team of in the cricket history, which is in certain ways, a lot of people say that has made what Pakistani cricket so exciting. The fact that you don't know, on a bad day they would perform miraculously good, and on a really good day, when you expect them to steamroll the opposition, they will perform bad. But as far as that specific collapse is concerned, look, pitch obviously was playing. It's a tricky pitch. Pakistan generally, historically, has been a bad fourth inning chaser. This is, again, something of a dilemma for Pakistan, and the backbone of the team, especially if men like Misbah or Yunus, if they ever fail to score, then you don't expect them to do well. So Pakistan has been a notorious chaser, especially in the fourth innings. And if the pitch is turning and if pitch has become a bit tricky, you could expect any kind of batting performance. So in certain ways, it was a historic precedent that was followed. But ideally, in that situation, against that bowling lineup, no, it should not have happened. But I would just bring it down to sheer misfortune, and it's the history of, suddenly you lose one wicket, or you lose quick 2-3 wickets, and we were actually, if you remember, 36 for 7. So there were a succession of 2 or 3 quick wickets, and this is where the mental strength comes, and I think by that time, they had panicked and they didn't really know how to go about it. And we should have actually won that series 3-0. It should have been a clean sweep, in my opinion. Even the last Test match, which everyone is suggesting, it's a thrilling match, it's a great match. Yes, from a cricketing perspective, it's a great match. It went down to the wire, it went down to the last over, but against that very weak West Indian team, which does not have a one genuine superstar. All new kids, there are Chase, there's Hope, and there's Bishu. I mean, Bishu obviously is a good bowler. You probably should have steamrolled them, and I mean, we won that Test match, and I felt I had a sigh of relief, and the fact that we had won the first Test series in West Indies, but again against a weak West Indian team, you should not really have played such a tough Test match. As you said, we should have steamrolled them in all 3 matches.
And the other thing is, before we move on to obviously Yunus and Misbah's retirement, who do you think you found to be the most successful apart from Yasir Shah? Did you think? What do you think of Mohammad Abbas? Do you think he's got a future playing for Pakistan? I know he took 5 wickets in the first innings, and obviously he's 27. So, do you think he's got a future playing for Pakistan, or do you think he's just filling the making up the numbers for this series only?
Look, again, it's too difficult to determine. If you remember Abdur Rahman, And if you remember that his performance against England in Dubai when Pakistan won.
That's correct, yes.
Again, there were great hopes from him, and you always felt the duo of Abdul Rahman and Saeed Iqbal was going to be the foremost, most powerful spinning combination or spinning, pair. But that didn't happen, and despite the fact that he bowled really well, Saeed Iqbal again, once he was, for many years, he was heading the Pakistani bowling attack, but then this whole action and this elbow issue came, and then he was not the same bowler. So 27 for a spinner is not really an old age. Spinners, they have the capacity, potential to go on till 35, 36, even 40. Too premature, too early to make a suggestion, in all honesty.
There's very strange selections in this series. And what's happened to Rahat Ali? Because he's done quite well for Pakistan. And he would have been ideal on these pitches, especially in the first 2 test matches, because of the way he's, action and, his discipline as well, instead of Wahab Riaz. So I'm not too sure what happened with his selection. Is he injured, or has he just fallen out with the PCB like they do with a lot of players?
Yeah, I think he had an injury problem as well. I'm not sure about whether he had fallen out with PCB or anything, or it was anything performance related. I believe he had an injury. But Rahat Ali, look, it's a difficult assessment to make. I've never been a Rahat Ali fan, in all honesty. I never thought he had a great future as a fast bowler or even a medium fast bowler. He's one of those players who have filled those vacuums and filled those blanks and occasionally played one-off good series. If you talk about Wahab Riaz, I'll tell you what, and I don't know how mean it may sound to you or mean it may come across to you, but I still think he's still that Watson over against Australia, those 2 overs that he had bowled to Watson, they have taken him too far, in all honesty.
Yes, I agree, yes. Tamur, we've only got about a minute left before we go to the break. I just wanted to really get your thoughts on Yunus Khan and Misbah's retirement before we go to the break.
It would take hours and hours, and we would still not be.
Unfortunately, we haven't got that time. So, just a quick thought from you.
Describe the magnificence, the greatness, the great legacies, the great services, the great characters, the great human beings they are. So, Misbah and look, I'll tell you what, there's another aspect that I want to bring into this debate, and after the break especially, this very unfair comparison between Misbah, the captain, and Imran, the captain. And I genuinely believe that whoever is listening, because if there's been a lot of interest lately in coming up with a comparison between these 2 great cricketers, and I believe it's a very unfair comparison. And if you want to go on a break, then just go on a break, and once you come back, I would like to give my
that's fine. We'll keep you on the line, and we've got a few seconds left before we go to the break, so you can make some few points, and then inshallah we'll be back from the break at 5:30. So we go on break at 5:26, and we're back at 5:30. So you've got a few seconds left if you want to make any further points, and then I'll take you after the break.
Okay. Do I have a minute to speak?
Yes, you go back 20 seconds.
Well, in 20 seconds, I think it's the most unfair comparison that has been made. And again, we're a society which is very politicized, which is very polarized, and somehow we have to come up with these comparisons, and somehow we have to make ourselves happy, or we have to put down one person because I think it's a part of our DNA, it's a part of our gene. I think these are 2 very different men with 2 completely different styles, with playing in 2 different eras, and these men should not be compared to each other in any shape or form. And that's most unfair on Misbah, especially because Imran was a different character at a different time. Personally, I have my preference for Imran Khan. But Misbah,
that's fine, Tamur. We're going to the break. If you can hold on the line, inshallah, sure. I'll take you in 4 minutes' time. Sure. So we're going to a break now.
Okay. This is your local community station, Iman FM on 103.1 FM.
ਬੂਵੇ ਖੁੱਲੇ ਵੇਖ ਕੇ ਤੇਰੇ ਦਵਾਰੇ ਆ ਗਏ ਗੱਲ ਸੁਣ ਲੈ ਦਿਲ ਦੇ ਜਾਨੀਆਂ ਦਰਦਾਂ ਦੇ ਮਾਰੇ ਆ ਗਏ ਜੀਆਂ ਸਾਮੀਨ ਪੁੱਛਿਆ ਇਸ਼ਕ ਮੁਹੱਬਤ ਦਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਹੈ ਅੱਲਾਹ ਰਸੂਲ ਦੀ ਇਸ਼ਕ ਮੁਹੱਬਤ ਸਲੂਕ ਦੇ ਰਾਸਤੇ ਦਾ ਇਹ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਹੈ ਮੁਹੰਮਦ ਇਜਾਜ਼ ਚਿਸ਼ਤੀ ਔਰ ਫਰਮ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨ ਫਕੀਰ ਸ਼ੇਰ ਮੁਹੰਮਦ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹਰ ਮੰਗਲ ਦੀ ਸ਼ਾਮ 6 ਵਜੇ ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ 8 ਵਜੇ ਤੱਕ
In the city of Sheffield, if you ever have an accident, do not fear. Mr. Compensator is here. He can provide you with a taxi, prestige, or 4x4 replacement vehicle in just 2 hours. Call 0114-3863-386 or visit mrcompensator.co.uk and let the experts manage your claim.
Iman FM. Ramadan is on its way and Iman FM is here. Iman FM, the time to promote your business is now. The time to promote your business is now. And get your message across to thousands of people. Book your Ramadan airtime by calling on 011-4242-0551. 011-4242-0551. Or email info@imanfm.com.
AP Performance, luxury prestige and performance car hire specialists, offering a wide range of vehicles covered for self-drive hire. On your special occasions, whether it's weddings, proms, business meetings, or a weekend event, we have a vehicle that's perfect for you. Visit our brand new showroom on Kanklow Road, Rotherham. Phone 01709-830-576 or visit apperformance.co.uk and create your memories in style.
Belgrave Estates for all building works, commercial or residential. Also property inspection report for visa purposes. Ring or text 07976 927 000.
लो जी सज्जनों बेलियो मित्रों बुझो बुझो माड़ी बुझो मीरप्री तवा जिसने विच ऊंट ना गोश्त अरन ना गोश्त ते तितर बटेर.
Come and try traditional tawa dishes, bringing you the true taste of home cooking to your table.
एक बार अच्छो ते याद करसो
162 London Road, Sheffield, open till 11:30 p.m. or 014-258-0805.
मीरप्री तवा हां जी मीरप्री तवा.
Millions of people in Africa are still facing drought and famine. Children are dying of dehydration. Families Relief is helping people by providing life-saving food, water and medical aid. Call today and help us save the lives of the men, women and children who are starving to death. Help us put a smile on their face. Call 0114 365 4454 or visit our website at familiesrelief.org.uk. Together we can make a difference.
मारे मुड़े की चोरी ने केस इस पुलिस पोली कहंदा ओ मैं क्या करा
उसा खान सोलिसिटर्स की कॉल करो वो दिहाड़ी राती 24 घंटे हर रोज ते हर वेले पुलिस स्टेशन जाई के सारे इंग्लैंड चु मुजरमानी जमानत कराई सकने ने इस वास्ते आखने ना ओ खान चुड़ा माड़ी जान.
Khan Solicitors 351 Abbeydale Road Sheffield S7 1FS 0114-258-3399 or visit khansolicitors.com.
Your voice, your choice. You're listening to Iman FM.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. It's 5:30 here in the UK on the 21st of May 2017. You're listening to a special edition of Sports Week on imanfm.com, Iman FM on 103.1 FM in Sheffield and in South Yorkshire, and also live on Facebook at Iman TV Online, and also you're watching live on YouTube. Type in Iman TV Online, 3 separate words. And I've got my special guest today on the show, and we were talking about the legacy and the achievements of Misbah Haque and Yunus Khan. So I'll welcome again to my special guest, and thank you for holding on the line there, Mursab. Assalamu alaikum to you. Sorry about the wait, and Jazakallah for hanging on, and yes, I couldn't do justice to you by letting you speak about 20 seconds about each person. So you were saying it's not a fair comparison to compare Misbah and Imran Khan in their captaincy.
It's definitely statistically Misbah obviously is more successful. There's no doubt about it. He is obviously captained more test matches, and his winning ratio is better than Imran Khan. But again, what needs to be taken into account is that if Misbah has a weak team, but then Misbah has also played against the relatively weaker teams. The cricket teams, the test teams of Imran Khan era were far more powerful, far more dangerous. They were truly composed of some magnificent all-rounders and world-class players. But then back in that time, also the test cricket had most draws. I mean, most of the test match that was played, they would end up in draws, and result-oriented matches were very few. So both men played in different era. Imran Khan, in terms of his influence, he was a far more influential captain who also, I mean, he had a sex appeal. He was, known womanizer, playboy, and other these extra things, and very colorful character as well off the field. These things were associated with him. And then he was educated, good-looking, educated from Oxford. He came from a very elite family. So Imran Khan pretty much had this most perfect combination of everything that made him, turn him into a hero for many, many generations, not just Pakistan, but India, Sri Lanka, or Bangladesh for matter. So in so many ways, he had a lot of charisma, and he was always this legendary or iconic, out-of-the-world character for a verb, I would say. Misbah, compared to him, again, has a very different personality. He has avoided media. I mean, there's not avoided media, but he has not really been very vocal. He's very low-key. He likes to keep a low profile. He has a very stable family life. He's not a colorful character like Imran Khan. He's very focused. He comes across as a, cricket academic. He comes across as a professor. Imran Khan influenced his cricket team, his players in a very different way. He told them that you are the Coral Tigers and you have to go out and give your most aggressive stance or play or ability or skill and show that during the match and go out and go for the kill. And Imran Khan's cricket team or Imran Khan, his team always had a very, very aggressive posture, and they always went for sniffing the blood and going for the kill. They always had that approach, and Pakistan was always a very aggressive team in that time. Very Misbah again had a very different approach to cricket, methodic, slow, clashing upon enemies' weaknesses, waiting for your time, waiting for, exercising a lot of patience. A lot of people blasted him or criticized him for that as well, calling him tuk-tuk and slow and defensive mindset. But again, his approach was entirely, radically different to Imran Khan. But what matters at the end is whether he delivered or achieved good results or not. And Misbah's success and Misbah's statistics, they speak for themselves. So I think it's for me, it's very unfair to compare these two men. They both.
I agree. I read your brother's article as well in the Tribune, and it was very balanced article during the week as well.
He's a biased Imran Khan fan, and you cannot take that away from him.
No, I thought it was quite a balanced article because, as you know, I'm not I'm anti-Misbah, but obviously what is achieved for Pakistan obviously is there, but I won't go into my thoughts. And finally, Tamur, before I let you go, because I know you're a very, very busy man, let's talk about Yunus Khan, because obviously you had the ceremony at the Lord's Cricket Ground during the week as well. And your thoughts on Yunus Khan, because I've made it quite clear that he's the most underrated Pakistan player we've had, and he's never been given the right credit, what he deserves and what he's done for Pakistan cricket. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, Zaheer, I would have to respectfully disagree on now his status as an underrated batsman. Yes, a few years down the lane, a few years earlier, that would have been the case. But his performances, and again, mind you, is one of the, I think, the only 10 or 13 players who have scored a century against all the cricket teams, which is, again, a huge accomplishment, and not too many players have that. Another batsman who falls in the elite club of 10,000 runs, another batsman who has scored centuries, especially in West Indies and Australia and South Africa, and more importantly, scored century in the winning test matches where he has successfully chased targets. That makes him almost special. And if you look at his chasing average, I think this chasing average is basically much better than any other Pakistan batsman. As a matter of fact, Yunus Khan has scored 19 centuries, if I correctly recall. His 19 centuries have come in those winning test matches where he has been either chasing the target or he scored a century in first innings.
In the fourth innings, yes.
In the fourth innings. So
yes.
That itself is a huge accomplishment, and then you cannot take that away from him. But why he is underrated, I think Yunus Khan off the field has always been, again, a very low-key character, someone who has remained low profile, someone who has avoided media limelight, someone who has tried to keep him away from the controversies. And also there's another thing, Zaheer, which the fact that Yunus Khan has never been that typical stylish batsman that you normally associate, that, skill is there, the defense is there, the patience is there. but he's never been a particularly stylish batsman. And something that we have seen in Inzamam, something we saw in Saeed Anwar, Sachin Tendulkar, Lara, Ponting, were not just great batsmen, but very stylish players as well. So,
but he's been a team player as well, isn't it? You talk about these other players; they're more of a, you could say they've got a selfish streak in them, whereas he's been always played for the team first and for himself second. Don't you think?
Yes, he's a team player, and I said what makes me really happy is the fact that, see, there are two things here. One, a player who comes across as a very stylish, very aggressive player, someone who has the ability to entertain people on the field. People will love him more, and someone like, see, Yunus Khan is a very classical case. You can compare Yunus Khan with, I'll tell you, the best person who you can compare Yunus Khan with is Jack Callis.
Yes.
Very low-key players. They scored their runs. They were successful chasers. They have this amazing 50-plus average on almost any ground wherever they have gone. More importantly, they kept a low profile. Their performance spoke for themselves, and they absolutely ensured that their teams would win or would be on the winning side. But they've remained. They were always treated as the underrated players. They were always discussed as they were always considered the underrated players. So Yunus Khan and Jacques Kallis, I would say, have the similarities in that sense. But now I think at this point of time, especially in the last 2-3 years, the way Pakistani media, especially the mainstream English publications, whether it be Dawn or Daily Times or Express Tribune, or even Crick Info for that matter, especially the English writers, the Indian writers, the Sri Lankan writers, the way they started picking up on Yunus Khan and they started writing articles on him, and the fact that slowly some of the mainstream English players like Ponting or Michael Vaughan or many other players, and I can't recall the names, who gradually or slowly, started acknowledging the greatness of Yunus Khan and his impact on Pakistani cricket. So now I think at this point of time, especially in the last 2-3 years and ever since he has retired, I don't really see him being an underrated player or considered an underrated player anymore. I think he is perhaps considered a bigger player, a bigger cricketing entity than Inzamam or even Javed Mirdad for that matter. That's how I see it now. Because I've been closely following the media, especially the Crick Info and other cricketing websites. Yunus Khan has been, a lot of stuff has been written on him and extensively written on him, especially in the last 2-3 years.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you very much, Tamur Sahab, and Jazakallah for taking so much time out of your Sunday afternoon. No I'm sure you're probably playing cricket somewhere or enjoying the sun because it's nice weather here in London today. Nice and so Jazakallah for your time, and inshallah ta'ala, when I do come back on Sports Week after Eid, then inshallah ta'ala will invite you along if you have some spare time.
Thank you, brother. Very kind of you.
You're welcome. Jazakallah for your time, and enjoy your Sunday evening, and Jazakallah for giving your time on Iman FM this evening. Allah Hafiz. That was Brother Tamur Iqbal, all the way from London, not too far from where I am. And Jazakallah to him for his great analysis. And it's the first time he's been on Iman FM, and it's the first time he's been on my show as well. So I'm very, very eternally grateful for his great insight to his cricketing knowledge and obviously his insight into cricket. And I think he spoke very, very well about Pakistan cricket, and he also gave you his memories from when he's been following Pakistan cricket. And inshallah ta'ala, if all goes well, then in the future I will invite Tamur along to the show. So it's gone 5:40 here in the UK on the 21st of May 2017, and you're watching this show live on Facebook as well on Iman TV Online, and also you're watching this live on YouTube at Iman TV Online, 3 separate words. So we've only got about 16 minutes left of the show, and Tamur, Jazakallah for watching as well, and very grateful that you took time to come on the show. And so for the last 15 minutes or so, I'll be looking at all the Premier League results because we've been very, very busy in the football world. And finally, I would like to say Jazakallah to Tamur Iqbal again for taking time out to come on the show. So let's go back to last week's results, and then we'll go talk about today's results and give you the final table. And you can WhatsApp the show live on 0788 5599 786. That's 0788 5599 786, and I will try to read them out, or you can leave your comments on Facebook. So let's go back to the 13th of May which was last Saturday, and give you the results very, very quickly. And then we'll move on to all the results that have taken place today as well. So let's go back to Saturday, 13th of May. The early game finished Man City 2, Leicester City 1, Bournemouth 2, Burnley 1, Middlesbrough 1, Southampton 2, Sunderland 0, Swansea City 2, Stoke City 1, Arsenal 4. And then on Sunday, the 14th of May, we had Crystal Palace 4, Hull City 0, West Ham United 0, Liverpool 4. And for those of you who don't know, Liverpool is my boyhood club, and I've been following them since my early age. And it was a fantastic performance by Liverpool, and they were only playing a few miles away from where I live here in London. And it finished West Ham United 0, Liverpool 4. And as you can imagine, I was very, very ecstatic with that performance. And the late game finished Tottenham Hotspur 2, Manchester United 1. So that was on Sunday, the 14th of May. And then on Monday, the 15th of May, we had a brilliant game at Stamford Bridge, Chelsea's ground. It finished Chelsea 4, Watford 3. And a fantastic game by both teams there. And then on Tuesday, the 16th of May, we had Arsenal 2, Sunderland 0, Manchester City 3, West Bromwich Albion 1, and Southampton 0, Manchester United 0. And then a big thrashing handed out to the the 2015-2016 champions. 2015-2016 champions, Leicester City. They lost 6-1 at home to Tottenham Hotspur, with Harry Kane scoring a hat-trick. Getting 4 goals, my apologies. And that was on Thursday, 18th of May. So those results from Saturday to Thursday meant that there was three teams fighting for 2 places to get into the Champions League. So what happened was, with those results, Man City were in 3rd, Liverpool were in 4th, and Arsenal were in 5th. So what that would mean on the final day, which took place today, was if Manchester City won and Liverpool won, Manchester City would finish 3rd and Liverpool would finish 4th. And if somehow Liverpool lost and Arsenal won, then Arsenal would take the 4th position from Liverpool. And likewise, if Manchester City lost, then Liverpool would take 3rd place if they lost to Watford. So those were the results up to Thursday. Let me give you the results of what happened in today's games. There was obviously all 10 matches took place today, as they do in every last game of the Premier League. They all start at the same time. So if I just read them in order, and then we can talk about what happened. If you wish to do so, you can WhatsApp me. You've got about 12 minutes left on 07885 559 That's 07885 559 So loads of goals for you to watch tonight on TV. Let me give you the results, and then I'll give you the story. So let's look at the first game and give you some analysis there. The first game we're looking at is Arsenal 3, Everton 1. Bellerin opened scoring on 8 minutes. Then Koscielny was sent off a straight red card on 14 minutes. And then Sanchez made it 2-0 on 27 minutes. Romelu Lukaku on 58 minutes pulled a goal back for Everton to make it 2-1. And then Ramsey scored in the injury time in the 91st minute, which meant that Arsenal won 3-1 at Everton, which meant that if Liverpool tripped up against Middlesbrough, then Arsenal would finish 4th. So I'll give you the tables in a moment. So that's what happened in that match. And the next match is Burnley 1, West Ham United 2. Burnley took the lead with Vokes on 23 minutes, and Figuli on 27 minutes equalised for West Ham. And Ayew scored on 72 minutes to hand the victory to West Ham. So it finished Burnley 1, West Ham 2. The next game saw the champions Chelsea at home to Sunderland, and they've just been presented the Premier League trophy. I've just seen the pictures. And so it finished Chelsea 5, Sunderland 1. Sunderland took a shock lead, Manculia on 3 minutes, and then Willian equalised on 8 minutes. Then Hazard made it 2-1 on 61 minutes. Then Pedro on 77 minutes made it 3-1 to Chelsea. And Batshuayi scored in the 90th minute and the 92nd minute. So the second minute of injury time, he scored his second of the match. So it finished Chelsea 5, Sunderland 1. And next game, it was a complete thrashing by Tottenham, given to from Tottenham to Hull. It finished Hull City 1, Tottenham Hotspur 7. That's correct. Hull City 1, Tottenham Hotspur 7. So Kane scored a hat-trick on 11 minutes, and he opened the scoring on 11 minutes, and then he scored a second on 13 minutes. And then Dele Alli made it 3-1 on 45 minutes plus 2. That means in injury time in the first half, to make it 3-0 to Tottenham in the first half. And then Klukas pulled a goal back for Tottenham to make it 3-1. Then Wanyama on 69 minutes made it So Wanyama on 69 minutes made it 4-1 to Tottenham, and then Harry Kane scored his hat-trick on 72 minutes to make it 5-1. Then Davies on 84 made it 6-1, and Alderweireld on 87 minutes made it 7-1. So not only did they beat Leicester City 6-1 the other day away, and this time they won 7-1 against Hull, which means Kane, with that hat-trick, secured the Golden Boot. So well done to him. And he retained the Golden Boot because he won that last season as well. So well done to him. And the next game saw Leicester City at home against Bournemouth. It finished Leicester City 1, Bournemouth 1. And Stanislas scored in the first minute of the match, and Vardy equalised on 51 minutes. The next game saw my beloved Liverpool at home to Middlesbrough. Boy, I was really, really nervous watching this match. Nothing much happened from Liverpool in the first 40 minutes or so, and I was honestly in agony. And as you know, when you're watching Liverpool this season, it's very, very agonising to watch them. I'm very, very nervous. So first 43 minutes, nothing happened in the game. And then all of a sudden, injury time in the first half, and Wijnaldum popped up and scored for Liverpool. And I was relieved at first half, so I could rest for about 15 minutes. And I was shouting up and down. I thought, I won't have any voice left to do my show today. And my voice got even worse when Coutinho scored on 51 minutes to make it 2-0. Then I breathed a bit easier. And then Lallana made it 3-0 on 56 minutes. And I thought, okay, job done. Because with that victory, obviously that would have meant that Liverpool would finish fourth regardless of what happened in the Arsenal game. So obviously that's what happened there. And like I said, you can WhatsApp the show live on 07885599786. That's 07885599786. Or you can watch the show live on Facebook at Iman TV Online, all one word. Or you can watch the show live on YouTube. Type in 3 separate words, Iman, I-M-A-N, then separately TV and separately online, and then you can watch the show live. And if you're watching on Facebook, please invite all of them, all of your friends and family to watch live. We've only got about 7 minutes left to the show. And like I said, Liverpool finished 3-0. And boy, I was relieved afterwards. And I've been taking on a lot of water before I came on air, because I only had literally 5 minutes before. And in between the breaks, I was taking some water. So I've restored my voice just about. So I finished Liverpool 3, Middlesbrough 0. And boy, I was relieved, and I was shouting up and down. I think the whole street heard me shouting up and down. Luckily, it was joy of shouting of joy and relief more at that as well. So that finished Liverpool 3, Middlesbrough 0. Next game, it was Manchester United against Crystal Palace, and it finished Man United 2, Crystal Palace 0. Haroop on 15 minutes scored the opener, and Paul Pogba on 19 minutes made it 2-0 there. And then on the Manchester United fielded their youngest ever player, and also Josh Harrop made a debut for Man United. So Josh Harrop scored on his debut as Man United's disappointing Premier League campaign ended with a comfortable victory. This is according to BBC Sport. And like I said, a 16-year-old came on. Yes, here we are. With 2 minutes remaining, the London-born and Salford-raised Angel Gomez replaced captain Wayne Rooney to become the club's youngest ever Premier League player. So well done to him at 16 years and 263 days old. That's 16 years and 263 days old. He's also the first player born in the 21st century to play in the Premier League. So well done to him. And so that finished Man United 2, Crystal Palace 0. And the next game saw Southampton against Stoke, and it finished Southampton 0, Stoke 1. And Peter Crouch scored in the 60th minute to give Stoke a away victory at Southampton. The next match saw Swansea City at home to West Brom, and West Brom took the lead with Evans on 33 minutes and Ayew equalised on 72 minutes. Llorente gave Swansea the victory in the 86th minute, so well done to them. And the final match today was at home, and very, very crucial game in the terms of Champions League spots. It finished Watford United 0, Manchester City 5. And Company opened the scoring on 5 minutes. Then Aguero scored on 23 in the 23rd minute and 36 minutes to make it 3-0 to Man City. And then Fernandinho made it 4-0 on 41 minutes. And in the second half, Jesus scored in the 58th minute to give Watford a 5-0 victory. So very, very exciting day in the Premier League, and it was goals galore in nearly every match bar one. And what that means, the final Premier League table of this 2016-2017 table, I'll read it in full. Let's start with the top. Chelsea champions played 38 games, and they also won 30 league games this season. So a brilliant achievement by them. So Chelsea finished on top, 38 games, 93 points. Tottenham in second, played 38, 86 points. Man City finished in third, 38 games, 78 points, which means the top three automatically go into the main draw of the Champions League. And Liverpool, despite their hiccups after Christmas and January, managed to finish in fourth, played 38 games, everyone did, played 38 games and finished 76. So what that means, in July they'll have to play or early August they will have to play a two-leg playoff game, and if they can manage to win that, then they'll also go into the main draw alongside Chelsea, Tottenham, Man City and into the Champions League. So Arsenal missed out on fifth, and it's first time in 21 seasons that they missed out in the top four. So Arsenal finished in fifth with 75 points, Man United in sixth with 69 points, Everton in seventh with 61, Southampton in eighth with 46, and their rivals Bournemouth in ninth with also 46. West Brom finished in 10th, and West Ham finished in 11th, both on 45 points. Leicester finished in 12th, and Stoke City finished in 13th, both on 44 points. Crystal Palace and Swansea both finished on 41 points, but Crystal Palace just with a better goal difference finished in 14th. And Burnley and Watford finished on 40 points, Burnley in 16th and Watford in 17th. And the teams that got relegated in 18th was Hull with 34 points, Middlesbrough with 28 points, and Sunderland with 24 points. So that was the Premier League table, and what a season it was. It wasn't the most exciting and the most memorable season, but I went to the last games of the season, and got about a minute left. So Jazakallah to everyone who's been following me this season with the football. And because there's no Premier League action until obviously August, and the Champions Trophy cricket is only between 1 and 18th of June, so I decided with the management's consent that Sports Week won't run during Ramadan, and inshallah should be back on the first Saturday in July when we look at what happened in the Champions Trophy, and we'll be looking ahead at pre-season and any other sporting news that's going to take place over that period as well. So we've got roughly about a minute and a half left, and so I would like to first of all, before I forget, say Jazakallah to Haji Shabir Moghasab for giving me the platform to do Sports Week, and also alhamdulillah, it's been almost two and a half years I've been broadcasting live on Iman FM, so it's a great privilege to do that. And also just to let you know, although I'm not doing Sports Week, I will be doing other shows. So during Ramzan Sharif, from this Friday coming onwards, every day I'll be doing a special Nasheed show, and as a Ramadan special for the whole 29 or 30 days of Ramadan Sharif, and then I'll be doing an Eid special. Also this Friday between 5 and 7 I'll be doing my normal Nasheed show as well. So I'm not going anywhere, so you still be able to hear me daily through Ramadan as well. So we'd like to also say Jazakallah to Hafiz Anwar Zedi Sab for his support behind the scenes, and most importantly Shahid Shabish Jodi Sab, who's been making those elegant posters and assisting me behind the scenes today and throughout some of the other shows. So Jazakallah to him, and I have to go now because it's ad break. Allah Hafiz until early July.
This is your local community station, Iman FM on 103.1 FM.
तंग दस्ती अगर न हो गालिब तंदुरुस्ती हजार नेमत है सहतो ग़िज़ा विद ईमान लाई है नाज़िया खान सुनना ना भूलें हर मंगल की दोपहर 11:30 बजे से 1:30 बजे तक ईमान एफएम 103.1 एफएम
Khan Solicitors, experienced criminal defence lawyers in defending your rights. We can assist you get the best possible outcome if you're involved in any criminal matters, including murder, drug offences, sexual offences including grooming, terrorism, fraud and money laundering. We can provide free advice and assistance 24/7 at the police station. Call us on 0114 258 3399 at 351 Abbeydale Road, Sheffield. Visit us at khansolicitors.com. Over 20 years experience in defending your rights.
अरे शमसुद्दीन भाई यहाँ कहाँ घूम रहे हैं?
भैया रोडरम में कोई खाने का अच्छा जगह है?
रोडरम में उम्दा और लजीज खानों का वाहिद मरकज चौधरीज ओरिएंट एक्सप्रेस।
अरे भैया तो टाइम जाया ना करो, जल्दी करो, भूख लग रहा है।
देर न लाओ, आज ही आओ ते फायदा उठाओ।
Cater to impress, Chaudhry's Orient Express, Princess Street, Rotherham, telephone 01709 555527।
हर कोई सज्जन मित्र बोले चौधरीज ओरिएंट दे पैगे रोले, कुकड़ पाए ते गोश्त कढ़ाई, आके खाओ होले होले।
Alchemy comes to Doncaster, UK's largest South Asian art festival. A full day of theatre, music, comedy events on the 3rd of June in Doncaster Town Centre at Cast Theatre. Headline of the festival is an electrifying night of rap and hip-hop. A unique opportunity to see artists from Afghanistan, Bangladesh and India. Alongside UK artists, Rockstar, Sonic Music and DJ Turkey Cyphers. Get 2-for-1 tickets at Beats Without Boundaries at castingdoncaster.com.
At iLet4U, we know that being a landlord can be a frustrating business, but it doesn't have to be. iLet4U can find you tenants in under a week. iLet4U, specialist in selective licensed properties.
अगर आप मकान किराए पे लगाना चाहते हैं तो हमारी खिदमत हासिल करें और घर बैठे किराया पाएं। iLet4U पर हम आपके घर को अपना घर समझकर रेंट पे देते हैं।
Start finding tenants today by contacting iLet4U, 60 Page Hall Road, Sheffield, 0114 327 2020.